Here's Johnny Manziel talking about his head coach in Cleveland. He was on the Tomahawk Show podcast. Joe Thomas has a podcast with a teammate. Is that Hawkins, right? What's his first name? Andrew Hawkins McLevin? Does that sound right?
There is an Andrew Hawkins. I didn't know that was a guy with him, but that makes sense.
So it's called the Tomahawk Show podcast. And here's Johnny Manziel talking to his former teammates.
Once the coaching change ended and we were looking for a new coach, the first thing that I heard through my agent was like, if Hugh Jackson gets this job, he has a contingency in his thing that if he's taking this job, the first thing he's doing is coming in and getting rid of you. So it wasn't the end of the world, but I treated it as it was the end of the world after sitting there with Sashi and Jimmy.
He was very open with Joe Thomas, but Joe Thomas was there. And, you have guys who played with or teammates with Manziel, and they really liked him. It's just, Johnny leaving to get his head cleared, I should say, not clean, getting his head cleared and going to Vegas for a couple hours and then coming back and then playing in a game. Like the degree of difficulty is already difficult, extremely high with that position. He's adding to that. And I don't care what he tells me now. He can tell you anything you want to hear. He's got to show you everything. I don't want to hear anything. I want him to show me. If he really wants to play, he wants to be on the scout team, there's no preferential treatment. You're coming in, and you're just Johnny. Yeah, Paulie.
Well, if you were a team that was interested in bringing him into camp, OTAs or something, would you say, John, we'll sign you to a contract for the next season, like scout team, practice team, as long as you delete all your social media accounts and focus on football? Don't use this as a ongoing selling T-shirts, working with different media, because he's doing T-shirt sales on his social media.
Yeah, but that's the least of my concerns with him.
Step one is not to live his life as a star anymore. You're not a star anymore. You're fighting for a job.
Yeah, see.
But that's like treating the symptom and not the problem. Like his problem isn't that social media exists. His problem is him.
Yeah.
He has to fix himself. It's not because of social media that he's having trouble.
Right, but I'm saying just one step I would do. Maybe he's got to see your doctors. He's got to get a clean bill of health in every way. And then you say, okay, shut it down. Play some football. Help the team out, and don't be a star.
How often can you drug test him? I don't know. I don't know what the collective bargaining agreement allows you, but there'd be so many things that I'd have to put in play to have him in camp. And you know what? Go play in the CFL. You really want to play? Go play in the CFL. You're not. Once again, he's got to get it in his mind that the NFL moved on. The sports world moved on. Now you're the butt of a joke. You're a little bit of a curiosity. Like, where are you going to show up next? What are you going to do next? How are you going to get in trouble next? This sports world doesn't stop. If it does, it's for a moment, then it moves on. He's got to go put himself back on the map, the radar of being a good football player. That's where you got to start. If you want to get back in the NFL, you got to show me you can do that. Yeah, Paulie.
Remember what Ryan Leaf told us when he was 26? He had an offer to play backup for a team and sign a contract. And he said, "No, I'm not." He goes, "I want to compete for the job." And they told Ryan, "No, you're coming here to be a backup this season. We'll see what you do."
That was the Cowboys?
I think it was the Cowboys. And he played 4 games for the Cowboys, and they were going to bring him back. But he said he wanted a chance to start, and he wouldn't accept. He had a star mentality in his head, Ryan said, and would not accept backup role.
And that's the problem with Johnny Manziel, is he still thinks he's a star. You have recognition, but you're not a star. And you may have social media and followers and those kind of things, but they're not following you as fans. It's more of a curiosity. But I'd love to see him in the CFL. It would be fun. I always enjoyed him. I love watching him play. He's one of the great quarterbacks in college football history. Yeah, Paulie.
Ryan Leaf is listening to the show and just texted in and said Manziel wanted to be proactive. He could sign a contract with a team and volunteer to be drug tested weekly. Oh, you can control your own if you want. They can't force you to do certain things, but if you want to suggest that, I'm sure he could.
And that's, if I'm him, I throw myself in the mercy of a GM, a coach, an owner, and say, what do you want from me? Now, I look at it and say, he's not worth it. He's in his mind, he's a starting quarterback. I don't want a guy who thinks he's a starting quarterback to be my backup quarterback, because backup quarterback, you got to do a lot of dirty work there. And if you're going to be on the scout team, and is he willing to do that? And at what point, if let's say he's on the Bears, does he think he's better than Mitchell Trubisky? Like, then it's dangerous. He's not good enough to take a chance on right now, and probably will never be.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.